Alright, welcome back everybody, my name is Atris. Today we're playing Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today we're playing against a Terran player named King Bradley on Tryon Terraces. And you can see the change that they recently implemented. The natural on this base is now a gold base. And I completely forgot about this. This is the first time I've played since they made that change. Here, like, I think it was yesterday. Haven't played this map yet. Anyway, since we're going Terran, we're going to scout, figure out what he's going for. Most likely he'll be going Bile. So my plan is to go Zealot Stalker and Colossus. First things first, a 14 Pylon, then a 16 Gateway, straight into scouting, and because of the gold base, I need to know, if he's going to go CC first or the like. Now I'm going to rally my 17th probe over to my second base and then change the rally point back into my original mineral line. And at 400 I'll be making my 17th Nexus and going from there. Now, like I said, this mineral line now is a gold base, and that completely changes the dynamic and the speed of this map. It's incredibly fast. Going for an 18 assimilator, now that my gateway's down, I'm going to drop an 18 cybercore. I do notice when I scout that he has already moved. Yeah, it's an 18 cybercore. He's moved his original CC to the gold base, and that's really weird. Clever idea, but I did the math. They mine at about a little less than 1 mineral per second, and it took him 25 seconds to go from there to there, so he lost 25 seconds of mining time. That's roughly about 200 minerals. Starting off with 50, you're losing about 150 minerals, say he's about 150 minerals in the hole right from the get-go, but because it's a gold base, that actually reduces the recovery time pretty much, quite a significant amount. Now, I do drop a 19 assimilator, sorry for rambling there, a 19 assimilator, another pylon. I'm queuing up my mothership core here as soon as I've got 100 gas. By the way, while I was scouting, I noticed that he was getting double gas, and his barracks was working. I'm assuming it's a Reaper. That was my assumption while I was scouting, just because of the fast amount of gas that he was getting. That's what my assumption was. That's why I didn't think it was going to be this fast. That's why I let my mothership core just queue naturally instead of pushing her to the front. She's about to come out. I'm going to attempt to defend, shoot that photon overcharge. I get one shot off, and I am dropping another gateway, starting warp gate, and now continuing to make probes to get my second base fully saturated. My my mothership core didn't follow him around, and it looks like he wasn't watching because he just gave me that, which is good for me. I'm also going to start a stalker in this gateway and a stalker in my second gateway for some more early defense should he just try and go for a one base all in because he's on the gold base. That's my expectation. Now, I am chronoing out warp gate, definitely want that out. I also want sight and a couple of big guns out on the map as soon as possible, so I drop a 34 robotics facility. And like I said, that's my second stalker. I'm continuing to make probes, continuing to pump these guys out. I definitely want both of these bases, especially this gold one, saturated as quickly as possible. 4 minutes, it's kind of slow, but you can see on my mineral patch in my main that I put the gateway in the wrong position. I'm actually blocking my Vespene gas walkway. You can see them having to go around that whole thing. I'm continuing to make probes. I also dropped a Twilight Council behind my base. You probably noticed it, and I failed to mention it. Double assimilators going down in my my natural, making 2 observers, dropping 2 pylons in my natural. I will also be making 2 forges so that I can start my upgrades. Warp gate's done, so I'm going to be beginning Blink as soon as possible as well. and dropping another pylon and beginning to make my gateways into warp gates and dropping about 3 or 4 more here in just a second as soon as I've got the money. Moving my mothership core and stalkers down the ramp, going to try and defend. Immediately when my first observer pops, I'm going to put him down there right near my gold to see when any reapers are going to come in or the like. Second observer's coming out, I'm going to position him in a little bit different place, same general area, but just so that I can have a bit more sight into my map. Blink's just about done, or well, it's not quite about done. It's almost halfway done. We're dropping my robotics bay, dropping 3 more gateways over here and a 4th in my main base. I do see on the minimap, I don't know if you noticed, but on the minimap I did see a couple of little red dots, and so I'm moving my stalkers over to this point because I'm expecting a drop. Sure enough, that is. So I'm able to push that back immediately just because I saw it on my minimap. I was able to push it back, and now he's kind of afraid to go that way. Making it immortal, I definitely want the big guns out there for the marauders and the like. This base is fully saturated, and I'm going to be beginning my +1/+1. And as soon as my robotics bay is done, I will be beginning my my Colossus construction and thermal lance. That's something you definitely don't want to do. I do see that he's got quite a few Marines. I'm going to keep back. I'm going to pull back and make sure that I can get a good engagement and use photon overcharge to the fullest extent. And like I said, hey, that's what I was expecting him to do, was to do kind of a one base aggression, and my mothership core just didn't bother hitting the photon overcharge until it was too late. I do clean this up relatively easy though. You know, my multiple stalkers cleaned it up pretty well. But now that I've got my immortal out, I've got the Colossus on the way, I've got +1/+1 on the way, Blink is done, and I'm starting to look pretty good. Flood minerals, so I'm going to drop in 4 zealots, and they're going to stay on the ledge should he try to do any sort of marine drops or reaper harass. I did want to start charge, but I wasn't able to, and I'm supply blocked. Just drop 3 more gateways in my base. I want to be able to do a big round of warp ins whenever I can. 7.5 minutes. I'm going to go for my 3rd base, and you can see that my mineral and Vespine production is a lot faster on this map than normal, which is a lot of fun. It definitely changes the whole pace of the game. Colossus is just about done. I'm going to be popping out a second one. I don't want him anywhere where he can see it. I don't want him to counter it. So I'm just going to go kind of stalkers, and the main defense for that is just going to be more marauders, more marines, and just go kind of bio. Now I'm going to be positioning my observers around, and just so that I have a lot more sight on the map. At my 3rd base, I'm going to fully saturate that as quickly as possible. Going to be making a 2nd Colossus and getting my army here at the base of my natural so that I can move and defend my 3rd should I need to. I do see again on the minimap that I can see his forces. He's got a Cyclone, fair bit of Marines, and I'm going to go challenge this. He stems real quick, which is perfectly okay. But my thermal lance, or my Colossus, just absolutely just rips through all of those Marines, knocking them down, making them completely useless. While my stalkers and my immortal really clean up. I don't even have to watch the match or the attack because I know the outcome. The Colossus is just a complete game changer to this game, and it's a welcome change for sure for the Protoss. Personally, I've been having a lot of trouble with Terrans, but since this new patch, and since a couple of other better Protoss players than myself, obviously, sort of figured out, oh duh, we can still use the Colossus. It's really helped my gameplay and my win rate against the Terrans for sure. Charge is just about done, so now my Zealots are going to be able to get into close contact a lot faster. I've got this base just about fully saturated as well. Going to be getting them into Vespine gas. I didn't bother going with the High Templar. I didn't really feel I needed to in this game. But my first base, my main base, is just about fully mined out. Going to be getting my 4th right here. Instead of going for the gold base, no real reason for that. I just chose not to. But I'll be going for this 4th and excuse me, going for this fourth, oh sorry, messed it up, and then going for this gold as well, since my first gold is almost mined out. Continuing my Colossus production, continuing, that's annoying, continuing my warping. You can see from the supply count that it's just astronomically in my favor, and I haven't scouted a whole lot. That's not good, but I am beginning +2/+2, and I do have a fairly substantial army with my 2 Colossus, my multiple Stalker Zealot combination, and it's going to be really good when I do finally attack. Now I've got observers going all over the map, and I've got good vision of the map, and I'm able to see his attacks preemptively. I do see that it's a sensor tower, so I don't have to bother moving my observer. I can keep her right there, and I'm going to knock that down. Don't want him to be able to see what's going on, and going to engage a little bit. Just going to poke and prod, see what he's got. I do notice that obviously he's got a Liberator there, which is completely standard for the Terran army. I want to see, sort of what he's doing. I'm going to warp in a bunch of zealots, not to supplement my main army. I'm actually going to queue them. I'm going to A-move them to his second gold base. And if he's got that gold base, they're just going to cause some harassment while I move into his main army. Moving a bunch of observers around, I do see that he's got a couple of siege tanks. He has taken out my zealots pretty well. It's a really good, he's stemming to get me to pull, and he's able to just move back and counter it with all of his, with his marine range and his, his siege tanks. Obviously, my zealots are taking care of his gold base, which he did in fact take, but he only had a few SCVs there. I'm just going to move my stalkers in. Let my thermal lance take care of all those marines, use my stalkers to take out the Liberator and the siege tanks, and this game is over. I was able to take him out. Incredibly fast-paced game, real big armies, real fast. He GG's out, and the victory is mine. But real fun game. That gold base first changes the whole composition to the game. I'm a little scared playing Zerg on this map. Now that it's a gold map, or that it's a gold base for the natural. It's going to be pretty scary to see, 4.5 minutes, but we'll see what we can do. Now, I'll have the build order down below. If you like it, click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ta!